Well, I think when you can't exchange, when this thing really takes off, I had Aiden, our graphic artists guy and 3D animator, modify a previously existing meme because I thought the meme was just absolutely wrong. They had a $2,000 gold with only one guy standing in the window. Well, we passed 2,000, and this is all major buyers. It's whales showing up. And once we get towards some astronomical right now, nobody owns gold. But my point was, when the crowd comes rushing in, who's going to be selling to them? If everybody is panicked and gold is soaring, you're sort of incentivized to. And this is one thing that I will be trying to work against with our Insiders program, is trying to look at numbers and let numbers and not emotion make my decision of when to sell tranches or convert tranches. Right now, we're at this tremendous gold-silver ratio of over 100 to 1. And so it sort of makes sense to convert gold into silver because the silver is super undervalued compared to gold. And then, but there may come a day where instead of selling your silver, you're converting it to gold instead and getting many times more gold than you paid for. When you can't convert it to fiat currency into physical, that's when the price just keeps on going and going and going until it convinces somebody to convert, to sell their physical to somebody that has fiat currency that they're trying to get rid of. And so that is sort of the point. The book that we wrote, that's the point of it, is that people do not realize that gold went up 25 times in the 70s from its starting point to the end of the bull market. And this time around, there's 18 times more people around the planet that can buy with 55 times more currency on the planet. What does this add up to? 200 times more billionaires than there was back then. What does it all add up to? It's only too late when you can't exchange fiat for physical. Then it's too late. If fiat actually does lose all of it, I doubt that it's going to lose all of its purchasing power. As George Gammon points out, the US dollar has all the apps. It's like, you buy an iPhone or an Android because there's a bunch of apps to that iPhone. And right now, we are entering a phase. This trade war that Trump has started, and it is a war, and I'm hoping he's not this dumb and that this is just a negotiating tactic. But to do that, he's got to get this thing done very quickly, because what he has unintentionally done is sparked a new trading bloc. There's an Asian trading bloc coming together that will not be using the US dollar. So it is possible that the US dollar could go to the point where there's just not enough purchasing power left in it to buy gold, but that means gold is reaching an infinite price. So how well are you going to do if you've got gold, or if you've got silver and the silver goes up against gold, and then you sell your gold you trade it for real estate or a business or some other a high dividend yield stock, some other financial asset. You may not even have to go back into fiat currency, because if the fiat currency can't buy physical at any price, then that means the fiat currency is going to zero.
Well, fortunately, the next few questions we have here are designed around the retail public and some common questions that they have, and to give them strategies to navigate these tough scenarios. So our next comment here comes from Hi. This is just a quick reminder. We're offering you free silver at goldsilver.com as a thank you for choosing us as your dealer. Just click the link below for details. Our next comment here comes from a chart you presented, how the US mint gold coin sales are down, and sales are down at many mints for both gold and silver coins. And Ivan says, I think the reason why coin and bar sales are down by the public is because people are really struggling. For example, I just got laid off. I have to sell gold and silver in order to live my life normally. I don't think people who are working are able to put as much to the side either. And this was a very popular comment. I got 61 likes, so I think people can relate to this. Well, what are your thoughts on this?
I think it is absolutely true. As you know, our viewers, we don't cater to the ultra wealthy. What we're trying to do is help the general public, the normal working man that's trying to become an investor as well, understand what's happening with the economy, precious metals, and how history just keeps on repeating. I absolutely agree with this. The pressure that we are living in this bifurcated society where the middle class has been in a recession now for a long time, and it's because of Ben Bernanke and the new method of economics, the new way that dollars have been created since we started quantitative easing and such, which didn't exist before then. It causes whenever they drop interest rates to zero, anybody that owns apartment buildings and their wealth is coming from real estate ends up doing really well compared to the rest of the economy. Whenever they create new base currency, they're doing so by buying bonds through the bonds and mortgage-backed securities through the primary dealers, somewhere between 18 to 32 of the largest brokerage houses on the planet. And when they do that, those brokerage houses now are flush with a bunch of cash, and they've got to do something with it. They either buy more bonds or it flows into the stock market. And we showed in the book the correlation to currency creation and the stock market performance. And it was way up I think it was like 0.97 or something like that. It was huge. It was over 0.92, which, 92% the same. So yes, this is showing the retail sales going down, is showing the bifurcated society. What's the date that starts going down? Is that the date in the middle there? Is that
2023 right here where the red arrow is? Yeah, 2023.
Yeah. Okay. But, even before that, you can go back to 2022. I'm surprised there wasn't more purchases of Eagles during COVID. But you can see the lower bars, the minimums, are getting lower and lower from the very beginning of 2022 down. So that red arrow that I drew could even be drawn longer with a slightly less slope, but it just shows that ever since the government started meddling in everything and created the lockdowns, it's been very, very hard on the average person in the United States, and it rewarded the richest people. And our mission is to try and protect the average person, the normal person, the person that works.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Ivan, I feel for you, man. Be careful not to sell too much of your gold and silver. Try really hard to keep that. So
at least keep some silver. The silver it'll be painful. There's going to come a time where you're going to think that it was wrong. But then silver will do a catch-up.